Alligators are really just kind of pitiful at any point in the game.
Are they? They're
I
taking a
mean,
beating. Yeah, they're not doing a whole lot.
yeah, the trouble is that they just can't attack.
That's just it. Yeah, they've missed me now every time.
They're just
Oh, there, I
so
finally
slow
got
and predictable and have nothing to do if you're behind them.
me. Oh, this lack of damage is so funny.
Oh, get in the water.
Yep, caught that one. I want to get them though. I want to kill these fuckers. I want the points. Bastards.
Well, we're in a clan together, so you'll get the
Oh, that's
points.
right. I'll get the points now. That's right.
Even still, like, we'll be hitting shoe bills if we go to the east as well, and that's real easy.
Yeah. Splat, clunk, smack.
There we go.
Bastards. Alright. Yeah, this is kind of aloe alley, so I'm going to stock up. I mean, you can get like several hundred aloe here just by going down the shoreline.
Oh, the stone cleaver sucks.
Oh, I forgot. I guess I should be getting these with the cleaver, shouldn't I?
It doesn't make a big difference, really.
At this point, does it
with
really? I mean,
with the stone tools, none of them are going to give you really much at all.
let's see. No, not really. Actually, I'm destroying the aloe. I thought that would harvest the aloe, but no, it does not.
Hey, wait a second. You recognize where we are?
I know exactly where we are.
Yeah.
We're actually just to the west over there is our old base.
Yep.
Our old first base. Yep. Yeah, this is a. Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't recognize it until I looked across the river and saw the old pirate base.
Oh, yeah. I marked this area because of the aloe alley and the pirate base. That's how I can tell where we're at. So if we want some thralls, some level 1 thralls at some point, some crappy Darfari thralls, just over the ridge where I'm at. And if we want to get slaughtered, we go over to the pirate area.
Yeah.
Which I won't be doing.
I mean, at this point, the Darfari will slaughter us.
You know what? You're right, actually. I guess they would, wouldn't they?
Yep. Oh man, the starved antelopes that don't give any meat.
Oh, they don't? I forgot about that.
Well, they do. They give very low amounts.
I actually got 10 out of this one. This is
Really?
that one must not have been a starving one. Yeah, I got 10. Do you need some food? Because I'm already starving.
No, I got 22 feral flesh off the
Oh,
crocodile.
yeah.
The
Okay. Oh, I forgot. See, I'm so used to not even having to skin those things anymore. God, you really have to reorient your thinking to level S1. Or in this case,
Oh, yeah.
4, I guess.
Gotta relearn the campfire.
That's what I'm doing now, actually. Oh, you have to learn it again. Oh my God, so much we have to.
Oh,
We
I
have
already
no knowledge of anything.
There's a campfire.
There it is, campfire. Oh, you already. Okay, cool. I'll throw in some meat then. I was just in the process of doing the same. Where's my meat? There it is. All right. So as we wait for our food to cook, should I tell you about Twisted Metal?
Sure.
I will try and leave spoilers out, so I will just give you the simple basics, and I'll let you ask from there. Basically, while it was never excellent, it was always good to pretty damn good, in my opinion. The acting was overly hammy in some places, not by the two main leads. The girl grew on me. The main character is, of course, John Doe. He was, to me, I think easily the best character of the show. Charming as hell, good actor. You would
Yeah.
know him. I don't, but yeah, that's my first exposure to him. I love the guy. He's great. Seems like such a cool guy. Played up the character well. When he met Quiet again originally, at first she was so named because she wouldn't talk to him, and as I said before the last time we spoke about this, she just scowled and sneered. That got pretty old to me. It was like, God, this girl's a bitch. It's getting irritating. But eventually she starts to open up, and the more the characters interact, they start to have an interesting kind of real back and forth dynamic. They go through a lot of backs and forths, and sometimes they're friends, sometimes they're kind of enemies, sometimes they're really enjoying each other's company, sometimes they're really pissed at each other, and it all flows pretty naturally. They are the two best actors of the show. I would say Agent Stone, what's his name? The guy from Spider-Man 3. Help me out. His name is it's a three name. He played the Sandman. What's his name?
Oh, Thomas Hayden Church.
Thomas Hayden Church. Yeah, I remember it was three names, but I couldn't remember what those three names were. He was good. Didn't have a lot to do, but he was good. And Sweet Tooth. Those were I would say definitely the best characters, the best acted characters. The two best though were definitely the two main leads, and there were a couple moments when the show starts to. The show starts to kind of find a groove at about the fourth or fifth episode, and it starts to get slowly, increasingly better from that point. There was only one episode I generally didn't like, and that's because to me that one had the highest concentration of ham, and that was like episode 7. Um, the supporting characters in that I thought were a little bit corny, but other than that, it was all pretty good. When the main character is about halfway through again, like episodes 5 and 6 thereabouts, the two mains, they start to get some really good character development, and there are some moments in the show that are actually really, really well acted between the two of them. There were 2 or 3 scenes in particular that stood out to me. It's just like wow, this is actually some really strong stuff. I'm surprised. Beyond that, the show, the only real complaint I have with it is that it was a little try hard in the comedy department. That I was saying that from the beginning. That never really quite let up. Again, it finds its footing, gets a little bit more into the character development and the actual pathos and emotion as the series goes on. And I have to admit that not only does it end very conclusively by saying, "Look, there's going to be a tournament straight up. That's going to be Twisted Metal, blah blah blah." You know, all guns ahead, so to speak. And in addition to that, I also think it's interesting that by the end of the show, I feel that the lore that has been spent to establish this first season, like a lot of people were questioning it, including myself. They're like, well, how is it really Twisted Metal if it's not a Twisted Metal contest? Well, by the time the first season is over, I think it pays off. I think that like I appreciate that they did take the time to establish this world and these characters, and you meet like at least probably 6 to 10 other Twisted Metal characters along the way, and you start to get some of their background too. So I think that this was important. I ultimately I think that they made the right call, and that's where I will stop with the generalities. And if you have anything specific to ask, I will answer.
No, I think that pretty well got the, just the information.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I liked it. I definitely liked it. If you have not seen it yet, I would give it a recommend. I would say expect Twisted Metal 2 style, and again, like I said, some of the acting is a little cringy, but if you stick with it, I think it pays off.
All right.
Yep, there you go. And speaking of there you go, my character is really not gaining a lot of health here from that food that I just cooked. Is that because she's so low level? I don't remember that being the case. Like well, let's see. No, it's probably not the food. It's probably that I need more medicine bottles here. Let me see. Can I make more? Yeah, I can. Do you want any, by the way? I'm gonna grab some more aloe while I'm over here.
No, soon popped up on Steam, and I'm explaining to him what happened.
Oh, okay, that's fine. How's he taking it?
Hard to say. He seems a little upset, but
You'll have to sell him by saying, "Hey, we can rush ahead like you always want to this time."
He wants me to explain what happened, and I said later, not right now.
Not easy to explain.
If only it were so easy.
Yeah, I think that's fair. He was actually right there, playing Baldur's Gate 3 right when we were in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Fucker.
I can't fucking stand the fucker. So where are you thinking for the temp base?
God, that's so hard to say. I guess it depends on what direction we start going in this game. We obviously, like you said, want to hit Iron Mountain. I definitely agree with you on that. In fact, now that I think about
there is an Iron Mountain in the east as well.
Oh, is there?
Yes, there's 2 really easily accessible big iron spots. That's part of why I found it's fun to go to the Far East to begin with as well.
Well, I don't really like the Far East too much myself, but I know that everyone else does, so I would help with the base over there. I just might also establish my own elsewhere. Not too far from the main Iron Island, actually.
Yeah, we,
not there that I like, but that's just me. I don't want to make the call.
I think in our current position as a group, like, it's not the end of the world if we split up, and a lot of the times, for pretty well the entire back half, once we started hitting level 60, we all 4 pretty well were constantly split up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. At the beginning, it's good to have some pooled resources, but just at the same time, I guess we're going to want to do things like develop our mining and all that stuff, open up the knowledge and gain experience, so I guess it wouldn't hurt to actually have a couple of separate kind of areas going.
Yeah. I mean, the way the map is built is deliberately to have separate resources in different parts of the map.
Yeah, that all makes perfect sense. I can at some point show you. I'll accompany you into the Amazon or whatever. But as well, I will also at some point show you the area that I'm thinking of. when we happen to go over to if we happen to go to the other Iron Mountain spot.
Yeah, yeah.
God, I don't even remember how to get basic clothes in this game. We just make rags, don't we?
Rags, yeah, until we can make something better.
Wow. Wow. I'm almost tempted to go beat up one prisoner. I'm sorry, one pirate.
Good luck with that. I don't think
I was
that's
gonna say,
gonna...
yeah, they kill me in one hit.
Yar, I'll higgledy or piggledy. Then you explode. Something like that happens, guaranteed.
Something like that. They'll be talking about their hokey pokey, which I've never understood. I have no understanding of how that's a reference. Why that's a reference.
Some stuff, like, have to be dev in jokes, you know?
Yeah, that's probably true. There are a lot of games slip that kind of thing in.
Some stuff also just doesn't come through translation too well. You remember, oh, right, you never played God Hand. I don't know why I always think you played God Hand.
Can't even remember if I know what God Hand is, to be honest.
God Hand was one of the last really noteworthy titles for the PS2, made by Capcom, that is known for its open-ended system of making your character... It's a beat-em-up, but your character has a very open-ended, like, move-set system where you can make your character's whole move-set, decide all the little moves, the big ones, yada yada yada. Also notoriously very buggy, has some very noticeable visual bugs. Notoriously, IGN got in a lot of trouble because they gave it a 3 out of 10. There was a whole controversy about that back in the day, back in, like, 2007.
What should they have given it then? Like a 1 out of 10? Was that the complaint, or that it was too low?
The complaint was that it was too low. The game's systems... Okay, the game feels very good to play. The game's systems are very in-depth, very rewarding, very fun, very cool. The issues that IGN gave it a low score for were, 1, the visual bugs, 2, the fact that the game is all over the top, very, very tongue-in-cheek, very cheesy. And that was a time period where the critics were starting to get to go on the train that they're still very much riding now of video games should be serious art. It was also part of around the time where it had become a trend to try and push Japanese game devs out and say, well, hey, look, the West is making Fallout 3 and Call of Duty, but Japan's not moving forwards. We need to deal with this. There was a variety of things going on there, and to add on top of that, God Hand is a notoriously difficult game.
Okay.
So, there was a lot of controversy, people saying that it was entirely unfair, yada yada yada. But anyways, to have a long explanation for ultimately just one simple little thing.
That's fine.
The game is, of course, Japanese, but the game, when brought to the West, was dubbed into English. And there are a variety of goofy lines that thugs and mooks in the game will say to you when they see you before they go charging into melee combat. And one of the things that they will say is, "You're not Alexander!"
That is so specific.
Yes.
Like, there's no way anyone would... I mean, as you said, clearly that's the devs are only ever supposed to understand what that was.
Well, the issue was, it was supposed to be a reference to a Mike Tyson interview or promo, where Mike Tyson insulted another boxer by saying, you think you're Alexander the Great? You're not Alexander!
Oh, okay. That's almost even more specific.
The translation team evidently didn't carry that through, so the voice actors reading it thought it was a genuine question instead of an insult. So everywhere you go in that game, a lot of goons and thugs are pointing at you, "You're not Alexander!" Like, they were expecting a dude named Alexander, and they're frustrated that you arrived and you're not Alexander.
Right, yeah, they're looking for Alexander, and you've confused them by not being so.
Yes, yes.
As opposed to, "You're no Alexander."
Yeah, that's exactly that. That's Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson's promo bit was, "Hey, you think you're Alexander the Great? You ain't, buddy, but..." No, it didn't wind up that way.
Well, what company made this game?
It was Capcom was the publisher, of course. 2000s, Capcom's dev thing. Oh, I've just now noticed we have a purge meter.
A purge meter? We do?
Yeah, I just saw that in my inventory.
Well, I suppose we can leave it on. We can see what happens. That's up to you. It doesn't matter. You're the server owner.
Fuck it, I'll leave it on. So I think I think what is currently what's happening is The previous server we set to civilized difficulty, or decadent
We,
rather, and now it's set to civilized.
wait, are you sure we said it's decadent? I thought it was civilized before.
No, it was definitely set to decadent.
Are you sure?
I am 100% certain.
Hmm.
I did it.
I think my normal game is civilized. Civilized comes after decadent, does it not?
Decadent is the lowest difficulty, then there's
Right.
civilized, and there's barbaric.
Yeah, see, I did not think we were playing on the lowest difficulty, but you're the server owner.
Well, now there's no way of checking actually, because that version of the server's gone.
Yes, it is. I'd have to go back to old footage, which at this point wouldn't matter anyway.
Because it had the decadent stuff of like no purge, you don't lose
Well,
your
I thought
stuff when
you could individually turn the purge off, though. I think you might have just done that.
you can, but I also had it set where you don't lose your stuff when you die, which is again a decadent thing.
Okay. Oh
Which
wait. So we'll
yeah,
lose
yeah.
our shit.
Hang on. Do we want to set it to civilized? Oh wait, nope. You're right. It was okay. Civilized, decadent, barbaric. Civilized.
So
is
much
easy.
for your 100% math.
Yeah, I had it mixed up. I know that we were set to easy difficulty, but I could not remember which one was called, which one was easy and which one was normal.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, do you want me to set to civilized so we won't lose our stuff when we die?
I would vote yes. What do you think?
Let me see if I can independent. Like, well, what civilized does is it turns off building damage, it turns off building wear down. Yeah, we'll want to do that. Fuck it, civilized.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of sums it up right there already. I don't want us to make stuff and then like we haven't played in a few days now. It's half broke.
Yep.
I'm not. I mean, it's cool that the game gives you that choice. I appreciate that, but yeah, I would prefer not to have that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I've done that now, and what was I going to say? There was something else meaningful I was going to say, but
Oh, that is a good question. We were talking about Tyson. We were talking about Capcom.
oh, right. What I was going to say was civilized also increases the XP gain by 20%. So we've actually been gaining less XP than normal up until now.
Oh, okay. Interesting to know that. I would not have guessed.
But now it's set to civilized, so you get your plus 20% XP gain again.
Good. These are all good things.
Very good. Very, very good.
When Conan is asked what is best in life, and he says, to crush your enemies, etc., etc., it's such a good line. Most people don't realize that after the crowd cheers raucously and they're like, "Yeah, Conan, that's great." The guy who asks him the question off camera says, "That is good."
Yeah.
he basically, that's a good one. Yeah, I'll go with that. That's cool.
Like, I think you've definitely brought that up before, but that is just like a Conan thing of like, yes, this is the peak of philosophy.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Yes, can't get any better than that, Conan. Oh,
I heard they had this motherfucker over in Argos, Socrates. I'm going to go find him. I'm going to headbutt him until he dies.
Yeah, because I bet he doesn't have that philosophy.
That dumb
He just sits
pussy.
there and want to argue with you, yeah. He wants to talk about learned knowledge shit. Who's got time for that crap?
I don't. I'm a barbarian. God damn it.
Right? That's how it works. Oh, shit, I need to fill my water skin, I just realized.
Oh, man, you can't research blacksmith until level 10.
I forgot there's several things that we can't get until level 10.
Uh-huh.
Can't remember how many of them are important, but I do remember that 10 was kind of like a big, like, oh, yay, we got there. Yeah, finally, got to the important level 10.
Level 20, level 30 are both big ones. Like, that's around steel. Level 30, I think, is it for cooking, which, oh boy.
Oh, okay. Are you still going to main a sorcerer?
No.
I wouldn't. I mean, you've gone through the whole thing as the character you already were. I mean, here I am playing the same character myself, but that's just me. I mean, I would think that you'd probably want a whole new, different experience now.
Yeah, and every time I was riding a horse in the previous game, I was thinking like, man, I'd love to really play just like an expressly mounted, focused warrior build.
Well, you can now.
The best mounted weapon is the lance, which is a strength weapon, and I was not spec'd into strength or agility because as sorcerer, you're just kind of poopy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. That that was this. I think you said that was like the second time you'd been a sorcerer as well, right? Wasn't this like in your single player game? Didn't you also put a lot of your time into being one?
I did. Yes, correct.
Yeah, now's your chance to turn that around and be someone. Which again, it sounds silly coming from me, being that I'm another, short, whatever, short chick. But that's just how she looks. I think I'm gonna, for example, start with axes this time. Last time I was daggers at least half the game, if not longer.
Yeah, I mean, if you're rolling agility, which you are
I'd
rolling
rather not.
agility. Oh, if you're rolling, well then strength, then that's an entirely different set of weapons.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I guess now I know that the food you give your characters, obviously your thralls, has to do with how they, partially how they level up. But in addition to, is there something in addition to our characters just specifically setting their individual perks and abilities and so forth? Is there anything to what they eat that has any further influence on skill gain?
No, because then people who play in the early game would feed themselves full of, raw feral flesh and get shit stat gains, and then in the late game they'd just be fucked, you know?
That makes sense, actually. Yeah. So for our characters, say for so if I do want a spec strength, which I do, I'm just gonna have to put it into strength. Just plain and
Yeah.
simple. There's nothing else to it. Okay, that's what I thought, but I never experimented that much, so I wasn't sure.
You'll want to, of course, use strength weapons, which,
Right.
you,
I'm
and
assuming X is strength. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
axe is strength. Really, everything except daggers, spears, bows, and javelins are strength.
Yeah,
Agility
they're
kind
probably
of,
not going to be mentioned with any of those. Messing rather. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Agility. You're already building. Look at that. You went right
agility,
to it.
yeah. Well, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I just think that's funny. You just went immediately to build it. Is this going to be like your first little base area?
I'll be honest, what happened was I was gathering the stone to make a furnace, and then it said, hey asshole, you need to research blacksmith at level 10, and I went, oh, fuck, but I'm already carrying all this stone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might as well get rid of it then. Why not? As long as we don't, I like well, I don't. Again, I don't want to dictate, but just seeing what happened last time, I like the idea of us just putting. Obviously, we can make like a base somewhere or a couple bases somewhere, or whatever. But I think generally speaking, we should not. I don't know. Like again, I'm really apprehensive about wanting to dictate any of this, but just seeing how that castle turned out, just seeing how, like we built. I'll say it again. We built everything just because we could, and
Yeah.
we built it far and wide and tall, and we got everything and everyone and duplicates of everything and everyone. And it was just like we made like a. I mean, I don't even know what it was beyond a castle. It was like a giant. It was a fortress. And I'm just seeing now that it was, if we had spread it out a little bit, maybe instead of just so
Build
much
in
in one
several
spot.
places instead of just concentrating everything into one fucking spot.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of like the idea, just seeing how much that weighed down that particular area to where we couldn't even really finish anything anymore. Like it was already so bogged down with the loading and the frame lag and all that. It does make sense to build, a good sized base here and there instead of one giant place where everything goes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that philosophy. I just think that we went too big.
I mean, the place only got more and more intense as, not only I expanded the castle, but, like, also, Fink was building his village around it, which probably also added to the load time.
It did, yeah, because it was all right around that area, and also something that we've never really discussed before. But the fact that Sepper Maru was right there. I mean, you got to remember
Yeah.
that's a whole city it had to load too.
Yeah, so I was confused about, like, all those loading issues, and I was thinking, like, well, shit, I see people in videos and pictures playing with way more intense bases. But Sepamaru would make sense, Thrall spam would make sense, the Thralls were probably beefing it up hard.
Yeah, we had so many. I mean, I definitely had a handful. I'm not going to say that I didn't, but I mean, just there were like 10 zombies, at least like 10 dancers just for the sake of it. We had, the male dancer up on top of the structure that was just completely ignored just for fun. It's like
Yeah.
they were everywhere. 15 different animals. Multiple horses. It was just so much. Like we were not taking, because we didn't think we had to. Like we weren't really taking any accountability because it was like the game wasn't making it seem like we had to until suddenly it was almost kind of like over a session or two. Suddenly everything started slowing down.
Yeah. I think
And
by all means, setting up multiple bases is going to be the way to go.
yeah, which I would be all too happy to help with because again, there's a spot I'm thinking of that's probably never even been considered before. There's an area over by the whatever, the Hand of the Maker or whatever. If you remember where that's at.
Yeah, I remember where the Hand of the Maker is.
Yeah.
For a little stretch, I set up a base near the African savannah, so I would pass through the Hand of the Maker quite a few times.
Yeah. Yeah, stuff like that. Just kind of like a nice centrally located. We can build like they don't have to be little outposts to where. Well, they can be whatever we want them to be. But I mean, like for me at least, speaking personally, like I'm not gonna just build like a little shack. I'm gonna try and build like actual little houses or whatever. But and again, there's nothing wrong with building a big castle. We just have to be a little more. Oh, what would be the word? A little more prudent, a little bit more reserved. I guess all of us, myself included. I mean, even
There's
when I'm. Go ahead.
one of the little errors was there's spots on the map that are very clearly left open for players to go nuts and build big castles, and we didn't build those
Yeah,
spots.
you're entirely correct. Yeah, because I mean, like what happened was I can't remember how exactly this went about, but we essentially wanted to reach like the height, and like it was if I recall correctly, it was like let's surround the base of that Elder King guy or whatever, like that
Yeah,
tower.
yeah, Clail's
Yeah,
vacation home.
Clails, right? Yeah, it's like you guys kind of like took over Clail's vacation home, which is fine in theory, but then it's like it not only stretched out, like it took over that whole mountainside, and then like Soon's area went all the way up, like that giant, like it was a tower above a tower.
Yeah.
Like he literally reached the height of Clail's vacation home, and it's like holy shit, like it was just so like we made ourselves gods essentially.
Yeah. I'm, we built a castle on a hill outside of the village where we would sometimes swoop down and fucking slaughter and enslave the villagers.
Which to admit, I have to admit that's fucking hilarious. We were basically
Oh,
like
it's
like
awesome.
Frankenstein.
we became the fucking villain of every 80s 90s era barbarian knockoff cartoon.
That's awesome.
Like every Conan the Barbarian knockoff has like, oh, the boys' village and the villagers live in fear. They point at the sorcerer's castle on the hill and say, "Do not go there,
Exactly.
boy. That is
That's
a
what I was
place of
just
great
saying.
evil."
That was us. That was
Yeah,
absolutely us.
we had a little cabal set up. We had a team of 4 villains. We had the horrible sorcerer. We had the one who worships the vicious snow god, who occasionally swoops down to kill people and harvest the liquids from their bodies. We had you, Mr. Slave Taker Supreme, and then there's Pink, who is building like a happy little village. Seems like a perfectly nice guy, but also loves to just dance while human sacrifice is going on, and seems just downright elated by human sacrifice.
He was, yeah. Even beyond that, it wasn't even just a simple matter of him building happily. He was essentially encroaching upon their happy city. Like, he was basically taking over, like, I think some stairs should go here, and I think I'm going to run a bridge right through this neighborhood.
That's what we were saying. Yeah, Pink. Pink, in a way, was the most realistic evil out of us. He was the fucking... Like, we were all, like, supervillain fantasy evil. Pink was gentrifying.
He was, yeah. Gentrifying is a good way of looking at it. You're right. He was completely making it his own special neighborhood of his own, for his own means and his own type of people.
Pink was coming close to scheming up the fucking Superman 1 Lex Luthor real estate scandal.
I need to see that again because you've told me about that and it's ridiculous. But I can picture Pink doing exactly that, even if just by accident.
I always bring it up because it's not who Luthor is in the comics.
Did you say it's not or it is?
It's not.
Ah, okay. I wouldn't assume so.
He's a little bit more complex than just, Superman! I want to wipe out this entire neighborhood so I can build underpriced housing there. Or overpriced housing there. I'll get you, Luthor.
Yeah, I like that the big super evils are just like, guys that have get-rich-quick schemes.
Yeah. What's fucking Scooby-Doo villains?
Yeah, I mean, that's what it sounds like. I remember even in Superman 2, which is the one that I did see for sure, he was like, I can't remember what his goal was, but he was like riding around in a hot air balloon for some reason. Does that sound familiar at all? I don't know what that was all about.
Every time I hear about Luthor in these movies, he's doing weird shit.
Yeah. It was weird. I do remember that. Ned Beatty was in there. Like, Ned Beatty was his assistant for some reason. I can't remember what that was all about either. I think they were all bummed.
And that character wasn't in the comics either.
I would not know. Definitely never. I don't think I've read a single Superman comic in my life, believe it or not.
I believe it. The Superman's one, the comics don't necessarily get as much tout.
Is that just because the whole, he's the boring, invincible Boy Scout? Is that really a prevailing sort of sentiment against him?
I think it is. The comics are generally the place where you're least likely to see that. Or at
Oh,
least if he's a
the
Boy Scout,
least
then it's in a
likely.
very charming and enjoyable way.
Oh, okay.
I don't
Wouldn't
know. I
expect
guess
that.
Henry Cavill Superman isn't a Boy Scout, and that's part of what's wrong with him.
We were talking about that the other day. I can't remember. Like we stopped partway through to discuss other things, so I can't remember exactly. I won't remember at all what the situation was. But we were talking about something along the lines of Oh God, it went into something else. I guess just to pull it back, we were talking about Man of Steel. Oh, we talked about Michael Shannon. We started talking about Michael Shannon from that point. That was the last time we all played together, you and I. Was Man of Steel what was the sentiment on that then? Like, did everyone like it at first, and they soured on it? Was everyone just kind of neutral to it to begin with? Like, what was the forum's attitude towards it?
I wanted really badly to like it, and I tried to force myself to like it for a time. I haven't watched it in a long time, but when I look at it now, I would likely just see the problems with Zack Snyder's idea of DC.
Which would be what? What is the how do they conflict? What is his idea, and how does it not mesh? Too
I would,
dark?
I would say it's a multitude of things. I would say forced darkness, not very real darkness, just like, oh, my parents are dead. Blah. I, it, oh, too much focus on like big slow mo shots. They're just masturbatory.
Oh, okay. Very
Too,
very mopey style
too,
tonally. Is that?
too, too visually grim. He wants to start with the ending because he likes the. Snyder really, really liked Dark Knight Returns, a story about an old Batman, right?
Okay.
So he wanted to start the Batman stories with Dark Knight Returns,
Okay. Yeah,
which
I can see that. Sure.
which is why he cast Ben Affleck as Batman, even though Ben Affleck is not exactly a spring chicken.
Is it
Not
actually
to
why?
Yes, Ben Affleck specifically plays an older Batman with gray hair that it routinely at several points in the movies goes, I'm getting too old for this.
Oh, okay. Really quick, for whatever it's worth, this has nothing to do with anything, but my game just crashed when I went to make a bedroll.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I'll
got a
just
few odd
assume that.
crashes on the previous server and that seemed to have no reason.
But you mean before today, before all the glitches?
Yeah. No, I mean, I've had odd crashes in single player where I'll go to make something and it's like, oh, it crashed, and I'll start the game back up, try to do it again, and this time it works fine.
Okay, I'll just like my last game was the last server was pretty smooth for me, so I'm gonna assume this is just an anomaly. I'll hope. If it keeps it up, I'll have to let you know, and we'll see what happens. But so far,
Yeah.
it's could go either way, I guess. Because I need to
Oh
make a
no, I'm
better.
not fighting that fucking thing.
What is it?
I went into the jungle because I wanted to go find some shoe bills to beat up,
Right.
and I ran into one of the lizard rhinos, and I went, oh, fuck that!
Oh, yeah. I don't know what it's like fighting those at a low level, but they look like they're not meant to. They,
No,
they, they look
no, they're
way too
really
strong for
not.
early. Yeah. Especially if you get like one of those like single, excuse me, single skull ones or whatever.
Oh, God. Hard fucking pass. Hard fucking pass. I gotta say, it rains a lot in the jungle, but when it's not raining, the place is beautiful. Oh, he's loading. Okay, well, he's not gonna be able to hear me for a little bit.
Oop, can you hear me?
Hello!
Okay, yeah, I always forget whenever I start this game back up, we have to go through the problem of it, the loading hiccups or whatever, which is going to happen again momentarily.
Yeah, right now I'm just beating shoe bills to death with my club.
That's fine. Are you super leveling then?
I'd like to get some levels in. I'd prefer to be able to craft a furnace.
Oh no, I mean like, is that going well then? Are you gaining tons of levels right now?
I just killed my first one and it gave me a level.
I would think, yeah, I would actually think 2 levels.
Ooh,
Maybe.
killed another one, it got me another level.
Yeah, there you.
Now we're cooking.
Go. Okay, so far so good. It asked me about the mods and then reset, as it should.
Oh.
You people at
Oh,
home can look
yeah.
at my desktop. What's up? What? Okay.
Oh,
That kind of stuff
yeah.
isn't on my desktop. That's in the folder.
You've misled us all these years.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a special folder for all that good stuff. Easily accessible, not on the desktop. I don't need it that badly,
Yeah.
that quickly.
I need porn. Stat! Get it to me right fucking now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, some things I guess can comfortably just be set aside to help keep the desktop clean, and that's one of those things, at least for me. I do, however, I don't know what this says about me. I don't have a direct link to porn on my desktop, but I have a direct link to my games on my desktop.
Hmm. Well, I don't have a direct link to porn on my desktop. However, I do have a direct link to, all caps, big fucking titties.
Oh, okay, you cut out there for a second, but I got it
Oh.
all.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, okay, I guess he just entered a loading. No, I
Yeah.
do ever, however, have a hot link to, all caps, big fucking titties.
Wait, whoa, okay, whoa, interesting. I
Whoops.
loaded up as my character. I'm getting a whole different screen I've never gotten before.
What?
I don't know what to even make of this. Let me, are you on, shit. Can I easily put a picture on Steam, just like drag and drop, or do I have to like load it on a site?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a process to take a screenshot and send it to somebody. Let me
Okay.
check. Let me check the damn map where you are. Well, on my.
No, I don't even think I'm in yet. I'm literally, I went to load in. It did the thing about loading up my mods or whatever, and then I loaded up a screen where my character, who is the character I just made, she's in her rags and everything still, but she's just like demonstrably, I think for demonstration purposes, in front of the long aqueduct. And there's a lot of cursive writing that says character 1 out of 99.
Oh!
Okay, so yeah, I've never seen this before. Help me out.
I forgot to take off the multi-car mod. I was trying to use the multi-car mod to see if I could. The multi-car mod to figure out if I could fix the previous server, and it didn't, but I forgot to take it off the mod list.
Well, as long as I can get back in the game, it doesn't bother me. I just didn't know what the hell to do. I'm like, okay, shit, I don't want to fuck this up.
Okay, yeah, just pick your girl and play.
Okay, I'll just hit play then, because it seems to have the right character.
Yeah, so that's, if you want to set up alternative characters, you can now do that!
In the same server?
Yes, on the same, multiple characters on the same server, yes.
Oh, that's super cool. That's super cool. So if, for example, I get this character to level 6 and I get bored or whatever, I can just make a new one, and she'll still be in the server. I can still play guys without... Oh, awesome. That's something that should have been in the game to begin with.
Yes, I very much agree. It's a very awesome mod.
That is.
If you protect, I don't know. I assume there's no button for this on controller, but on keyboard, if you press Control, Shift, and S at the same time, it takes you to the character select menu.
What? Oh, you know what? Hang on a second. I just tried to make a bedroll again, and my game crashed again.
What?
Yeah, the game is now reliably crashing when I try and make a bedroll. You might want to like save or whatever and see if it happens to you as well.
I made a bedroll a while ago.
Really? I'm a little concerned about that.
Why would
yeah,
it
I decided, well, I better test it. Yeah, Fatal
Fiber,
error.
right?
The game is... yes, yeah, just a basic fiber bedroll. I won't send the report again this time. We'll just try and go right back into the game. Actually, I will look up... I'll stop this recording for now, and... well, actually, let me see if I can, in fact, pause this. Now would be a good time since I'm on the desktop. Let me see. Can I pause? No, not Discord. Let's see.
Oh, why am I mining stone?
It's not the button I thought it was, but I'll just press this. Okay, I'm currently paused. I'm going to go online and look, see if there's any kind of... Maybe there's something specific tied to the bedroll that did get fucked up when we were doing all this stuff today. I don't know. I would just really hope that we don't get far into the game and then have other things reliably crash on us that we have to do, like building doors or something.
That would not be ideal. If anything, the only thing that's really should have changed was the addition of the multi-car mod. But I don't see where that would... Hang on, let me pull up Let me pull up the workshop page if that has something stupid listed on it, like, hey, yeah, this mod makes it where when multiplayer bedroll you die. I would have some questions.
Every now and then you do get a weird mod conflict that does something like that. It's odd. It's now repeatable. That was twice in a row. That's as soon as I went to put the bedroll down, like I already made it. When I went to place it, boom, game freeze. Up pops the report menu.
The mod was designed to work on dedicated servers. It just works on single player as a little bonus. Okay, that implies that it's not... There shouldn't be multiplayer bugs like that from it.
I wouldn't think. Let's see. I'm looking now. Picking up a bedroll crashes the client. That's something that somebody reported in February. Disable all mods. Check again. Verifying the files seems to resolve this. Ugh, I don't want us to have to do that, so let's just not do that at the moment, because that takes like a half hour. Do we have Pickup Plus?
We might. Give me a second.
Only because somebody says that it's work. Someone says working fine now on my dedicated local server. I don't use Pickup Plus. But then again, I wasn't picking it up. I was going to place it down, so that shouldn't matter actually.
Well, now that I'm looking at the page, I probably should go ahead and take this, take multicare off. Because
Did you want to try it, and then we can see? I'll test this again.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and cut this recording here, because I don't see anything about the bedrolls, but what I do see... Well, for one thing, that is the one thing that changed. But for another thing, I do see there is specifically... By the way, it stopped raining in the jungle. It's beautiful. But nonetheless, there is one thing that I saw, which is specifically multicare does have a bug where it makes it where you can't make thralls emote, and I know that was a big part of the game for Soon and Pink, so...
To make them emote? That's interesting.
Yeah, I
That's
don't get
oddly
it.
specific.
It is oddly specific, but I'm going to go ahead and cut my recording. See you later, folks.